Filters allow you to limit the data that displays in your content to show only the information that is important or relevant to you. You can create prompted filters, whose values can be selected at runtime, and static filters, which always apply the same value, allowing you to set consistent filter values for your content. To create a static filter, drag the field that you want to select filter values for to the Filters bucket. You can filter for any field in your data source, regardless of whether or not it is used in your content. When you add a static filter to a chart or report in TIBCO WebFOCUS Designer, the Add Filter dialog box opens. Depending on the type of field that you filter for, different options will be available. For a filter on a character field, such as product category, select from data and click Load Values from Data to load a list of values from the selected field. Add these values to the box on the right to include them in your filter. You can also upload a CSV file or spreadsheet with filter values in the first column, manually type in the filter values, or use a wildcard that represents multiple values. Click Save to accept the selected values. If you filter for a numeric field, you are presented with a slider. You can use the slider to set an open-ended range based on a single value, or set a start and end point for your filter range. You can also type a value for the slider, as well as use some of the same options available for dimension fields. If you type a value that is outside the scope of the data in your content, an alert appears. By default, no aggregation is applied. In this case, the filter is applied before aggregation to individual records in your data source. If you create a detail filter for revenue, the selected filter value is applied to each individual record, for example, each sale. You can use the Apply Aggregation menu to select an aggregation. Aggregations are applied for each sort value in your content. If you create a sum aggregated filter for revenue, the available filter values are the summed revenues from each different area of a chart or row of a report. If you create a filter for a date field, you select a range of dates by default. You have two methods available to select a date range. Similar to a numeric field, you can set an open-ended range based on a single date, or set a date range with a start and end point. You can also enter individual dates using the standard data selection options. For all filter types, you can also create a filter by comparing values in two fields. For example, you can create a filter where revenue is less than the cost of goods sold. You can select the comparison field and the relationship between the two fields. When comparing numeric fields, you can change the aggregation of each one separately, allowing for more flexibility. To delete a filter, right-click it and click Remove, or click the X on the filter label. Filters can be extremely useful to help focus on the most important information and allow you to analyze how specific scenarios affect your data. Static filters allow you to ensure that the same filter is always applied to your content behind the scenes.
To learn more, search for TIBCO WebFOCUS at docs.tibco.com.